Chris, I'm curious about you. YouTube, have you started diving in there? Is that something you've been looking at?
I actually just had a call with my virtual assistant yesterday, and I paid for her to do a little Udemy course on like SEO optimization, right? Because I mean, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to be an SEO expert. I am in real estate and I like to do this podcast for fun.
Yep.
It also lead generates for me, but like me focusing on SEO and stuff myself, it's not something that I would do. So my assistant gave me the summary. This is what we need to do. Add these keywords, blah, 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 create playlists for all your different videos. And so I am taking YouTube more seriously. You know, I've been inspired from people like yourself and like Ben Levitt, for example, just how they've grown it, taking it more seriously. Because right now I'm just basically putting the Zoom videos up on YouTube and it's been growing slowly. I think I'm about to pass like 400 subscribers, but it's not quite as close to my podcast downloads, which are about at 50,000 a month right now. So filling in the gaps, right? Like, okay, I have this cool podcast. Like, let me take this really seriously and actually get a fancy mic. And now let me focus on building YouTube, because people, like you mentioned, the likability factor, your voice is great, but if they don't know what you look like and how you act and like, oh, here's my cat running around the desk, right? That's when they really get to know you. Like, I see your background here, done is better than perfect on the whiteboard. I love that quote, right? So I can relate to you more. I'm like, okay, we're just two people talking here, versus a podcast may not be as close because, okay, you know their voice, but what do they look like? What do they wear? You know, what's their style? Are they in a suit or are they in a hoodie and a t-shirt, right?
And the other aspect is it's much easier to repurpose. Like,
oh yes,
have you ever actually listened to a full audiogram before on Instagram?
No one ever really listens. They listen to the 10-second and they're like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll go check out the full podcast when I'm walking the dog, right?
Maybe, yeah. But and when you get the video, what you're able to do is you're able to create these these snippets. Punchy experience, exactly, these punchy snippets, you know, that really attract people in, because we're human beings, generally speaking, we're very visually oriented. So that's a big deal. And it's much easier for you to give people different experience. And the real, you know, the other thing about YouTube is the searchability. It's very hard to be found in a podcast, right? Podcasts, it's very hard for someone just to go in, type in a particular topic or question and have you show up on that podcast. In YouTube, it's very easy. I don't want to say easy because there's a science to YouTube.
Right.
But it's the second largest search engine in the world. Like I did a poll recently on LinkedIn. I think we got, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 responses to this poll. And by far, so the question was, where do you learn the most? And by far, YouTube was where people go to learn. You know, it's the new school. So I think having a YouTube strategy is really important, but it's a whole nother animal, because you need to know the SEO, you need to know the tags, you need to know titles, you need to know descriptions, you need to know thumbnails, you need to know the analytics. There's a lot to it. And again, that's one of this challenge, this problem that you just announced is kind of how my business has evolved. I never started out thinking that I'm going to build an agency, like a digital media agency, but it's, you know, there's so many people that they want to focus on their business. Yeah. You want to focus on getting more real estate clients. You want to sell more homes or buy more homes or invest. You want to focus on your business. You don't want to focus on learning, you know, A/B testing thumbnails and stuff like that. You know, you don't want to do that. It's a waste of your time. Yeah. So what me and my team,
important, but it's not the best use of my time for what I want to focus on. Right. So
that's exactly right.
Understanding that is extremely important. So that's what your team works on currently for your clients?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, so we bring on clients, we say, hey, where do you want to focus your effort? You know, where's your demographic live? And we're going to create experiences so that you stay top of mind. So when someone's ready to buy their home or needs an attorney or needs insurance, like, you stay top of mind because you're showing up day in, day out, providing useful information. I can't tell you how many, this is especially true for these types of industries, attorneys, real estate agents, insurance agents. Everyone is like, I know so many people that are in this industry, but if you're staying top of mind in my feed, much more likely that I'm actually going to reach out to you when it's time. But and I love what you said there, Chris. It's important, but it's a waste of your time.
Right. And it goes back to clarity on what do you want to be the expert in? What are you interested in? If I loved video editing, sure, I would chop up my videos and stuff. I mean, I've taken footage at trips and stuff, and I've tried to make the cool travel videos, but then I'm like 2 hours into editing, I'm like, gosh, I should just outsource this, because it's cool to see the final video of my trip, but I don't want to be there for 4 hours editing the last 7 days, you know, in Bali or whatever. Right. So whatever you're interested in. And so for me, like podcasting, I want to be doing more of this. Real estate deals, I want to be doing more of those. Showing houses, I mean, I could delegate that, right? I don't necessarily want to open up 10 houses for you in the weekend. I'd rather have someone else do that and pay them while I'm doing these types of conversations. And then I'll show up for the picture at closing, right? It's like a selective with my time. And I know you're the same way. I can see clearly that we have our priorities outlined.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode. I've got several other episodes right here for you. Smash one of these videos to make sure that you don't miss out on the tips, tools, and tactics of industry experts. Let's take that side hustle full time. Smash one of these links.